Time for another episode of the Vol Vet Review. Now, the last episode we talked about diagnostic imaging, and we are continuing on that series. So I'm going to give it over to Dr. Tina Ursini to do a little bit more in-depth explanation. So stay tuned.
All right, back for the next episode of the Vol Vet Review. Again, I'm Dr. Tina Ursini from the University of Tennessee. We're in the diagnostic imaging section now, so if we didn't hear the last recording we did, it was on radiographs and ultrasound, which is a great first line of imaging, but sometimes we just need more information. So there are other options possible of what we can do. The next modality we're going to talk about is a CT, or computed tomography. Also in humans, if you get in a car accident or had head trauma, a CAT scan, CT gets shortened to CAT scan for whatever reason. So if you've ever had a CAT scan, this is what you've had. And essentially it's the exact same thing as x-rays. We're still using x-rays. Again, we've got the generator. We saw the generator last time, and it sends x-rays through the air. For a CT, what happens is it sends the x-rays in slices, and the detectors are also in slices. So when we appreciate what happens on the other side of the leg, not only is the generator spinning around the leg or spinning around whatever's in there. If you've been in a CT, you kind of know they call it the donut of truth. And so the generator and the detector plates are both spinning around you, collecting information constantly. So that's why it's really helpful to get these slices that then we call cross-sectional imaging. So we can get a complete picture, again, using x-rays going through slices with detectors, and then we stack those slices on each other. And so each one of these little mouse clicks that I have is a slice that went around the leg, and we're working our way down into the foot, for those of you that know your anatomy. There's your navicular bone coming in on this foot. Oh, my apologies, that was P2. Here's navicular bone. And this horse specifically had a problem with P3. And so as we come down, we see a lot of this bony reaction around P3. And then the other fun thing that we can do is we can have the computer help us. So since we have all these tiny slices and the computer can put those back in 3D reconstructions, what we can do is now go back and look again with a 3D reconstruction. So even though we took the slices this way on the leg, it can actually reconstruct those and put them back together so that anatomically we can see what's going on. So we've got, changes in the bone on this horse. She had a keratoma. We've got a lot of bone infection, bony change. There's this fragment here that we never saw on radiographs because, again, it's buried under so much superimposition. There's just a few other options, again, of how we can reconstruct and actually get that 3D mapping. Anytime that you have a lot of advanced surgery with implants, a lot of it is CT guided. So if you talk about CT guided things, we are triangulating and making sure that those drills and those screws and everything ends up exactly in all 3 dimensions, perfectly straight. So CT is great, again, about bone things, x-rays, bone. What it's not great at is a little bit of soft tissue. So we can enhance with contrast. You can see soft tissue things. We can enhance tumors. We can do a lot of things with, kind of manipulating the effects of what the CT can do, but the main thing that its job is to do is bone. And its primary use, again, we talked last time about all the superimposition. Think of how easy it would be to do a CT of something like a head, which again, we're getting these really tiny slices. It stops all the superimposition. We can see the sinuses. We're not affected by all of that. We can see exactly which tooth is affected with an abscess that may need removal. So it really helps us, again, triangulate problems that otherwise are hidden by areas of the bone. The other thing that it can really help us do mapping is fractures. So there's a lot of times horses will get a fracture up here, the ramus of the mandible or mandible fractures. And on radiographs, it's really hard to tell where those fractures actually go, whereas when we do a CT, the truth is out. And then we know exactly what implant we need to do, or if it's okay to not actually fix it. A lot of fractures we don't have to fix if we have the proper imaging to know this is going to be a problem versus this one's actually going to heal on its own. So thanks for listening. Next up on the advanced diagnostic list is going to be MRI. And we'll see you next time.
That was a good one, wasn't it, Mr. Bow? I hope you learned something. Let us know if you have any more questions that you would like for some clarification on. And stay tuned for next week's episode.